Okay, we are live in the Kingdom of Apples. Times change when you, and we have a scene with William and Dizzy, and hopefully, if other people join us, they will be in the scene as well. So, after a meeting in a cemetery where things were strange, when William was having a very, very bad day, he met with someone whose name is Dizzy. Dizzy has um, garnered William's attention in ways of how Dizzy helps people. So William tried to reach Dizzy by try to collect Dizzy's phone, which didn't work because whoever he calls is like, this is a different number. There's no Dizzy here. So after feeling a bit dizzy after like trying to reach Dizzy, he was like, I don't know what to do. Then he was like, I'm just gonna set the word on street. Tell people that I invite Dizzy, the Dizzy, to one of my concerts. Not concert, basically, it's just like, he plays at a bar with like either with his group or without his group. And he is basically on stage waiting this thing to start. They're getting ready. They're doing sound checks, mic checks, and all that jazz. So is Dizzy going to arrive?
Dizzy isn't going to arrive for at least until like a good number of people are starting to walk in. Hard not to notice them but even in the dimming, like, dim lights of the club and stuff like that. But they're definitely not alone per se, words. And it's like the most people they seem to have around them are mostly mortals. Obviously there are some Cathane coming into this particular bar and stuff like that. But they're not some of them are hanging around Dizzy, but they're not like hanging around because of any like particular like bodyguard thing or anything like that. Some of them seem to be trying to get their attention, but they're sort of waving it off. Dizzy today, I mean, definitely, as far as you can still that very, very beautiful woman with skin the color of smoke, that ebony dark hair and that or almost like punkish sort of style, wearing dark sunglasses. Their attire is a bit different today, though. They're not actually wearing any makeup, but that isn't detracting anything from them. If anything, they're wearing a short leather jacket today. They've got a as with anything, when you're going to a band or seeing a concert or something like that, the rule is you don't wear the band's t-shirt. So they're wearing a Ghost t-shirt. Well, I say t-shirt. It seems to be more of might have been a t-shirt, but the midriff has been cut out. They've got skinny jeans on, and heavy boots. And otherwise, just seem to be very much in the middle of whatever it seems to be with people coming up. It's amazing. Some people seem to know them. But even as you're looking at her, there's just that weird, in your perception at least, William, there's that weird thing of just like, well, is she maybe... There's, like I said, the shoulders just maybe slightly too broad. The jawline just a little too sharp to be completely feminine. It's a riddle and an enigma, and one that William probably hasn't quite fully puzzled out with that one. And it's been kind of frustrating that maybe he hasn't really gotten any answers, as and this will be something I'll give for you free. When you ask people about Dizzy, they're like, you get conflicting answers when it comes to that. Some people have referred to them as he, some of them they. some agree that yeah, it's definitely a she, and others like I don't even know, man. It's just
It's like,
uh, so it's very much this sort of thing. But people are talking with them, and they've get themselves settled into one of the booths, and periodically people will shift over to the table. There will be like a quick chat over things. There's some movement going on, and Dizzy's just sitting back. But otherwise, Dizzy doesn't move from their little seated area. But people keep coming over to them, talking to them for a little bit, share shots or something like that, and then they walk off.
the man at this stage, William, is someone Dizzy saw from a very close. He usually releases his hair. Today, it's gathered. It's gathered on top. Like there are some, few straps of hair landing on his shoulders. It opens his head and opens his face and neck, which is full of scars. Like not face, sorry, like jaw. There's like a line, a burn mark at his jawline, and then there's like a very weird. It was very weird when first she saw. It's still there. It's like there's a curved line as a scar. It's not like easy to understand what type of scar it is. Like you don't get curved lines from blades, obviously. So it's again a strange scar. He is very muscular, like as trolls often are. He seems to be carrying the guitar no problem, and like at one of those moments where like he basically picked the where the sound comes from. I forget the speaker, not speaker. I think it's called speakers, right? Whatever. Something he picked something that which was very heavy.
Oh yeah. The speakers are pretty heavy. Yeah.
But he has strength 5 natural is a natural way. Not like like he doesn't have strength 7 as a troll. He has strength 5 as a troll.
Yeah.
So basically, like he puts it down, and he actually waves at Dizzy when he sees Dizzy arriving. He nods.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah. Dizzy, if there is that wave, there's a brief. It's not like a whole hi, how you doing. It's very much a sort of like this kind of gesture as they're still talking with like whatever groups they're going with, and yeah, maybe depending on things. Actually, I'm going to ask a question. How often are you trying to pay attention to Dizzy and what they're doing?
He tries to not pay attention due to how he needs to sing a song or start singing soon.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Then yeah, Dizzy is in, like I said, Dizzy's in their booth. People keep coming and going. Doesn't seem anyone's staying there for more than maybe 5 minutes, but otherwise there's definitely a lot of drinks coming in and stuff like that, and yeah, movement in the club.
There is
by the way, we're at Vixen, right? I'm just confirming.
I don't like it. It can be outside of Brooklyn, like somewhere not outside of Vixen's area. It can be outside of Vixen's area. It's not a close proximity of Vixen. We can even say it's close to, like, I don't know, Brighton Breach at Brooklyn.
Okay.
Which I hope it was close to Brighton Breach.
Okay.
I hope Brighton Breach is in Brooklyn. By the way, I don't remember. But yeah, like we can say it's away from Vixen. Amber and William talked about like how we can play outside, her competition. This isn't like a very good bar. This isn't a very good bar. He probably like convinced the dude. We're like, give me a chance, man. Like, I will bring you customers. Like, that type of thing.
Yeah.
As this is probably their like first time, so it takes a while. Where like some of the customers may even say like, "Hey man, like when the shit's starting, man. I'm starting getting bored." And like William just like few minutes, and he starts singing. He has a very rough voice, but it seems that it can be enchanting. and it seems like when he sings, something else comes from him. It's just he has the voice of a songbird, Merritt.
Excellent.
And he tries to sing the Broken Bones, which starts with "Devil's Gonna Set Me Free." He personally loves that song, so he tries to sing it as best as he can. I will roll in the end of the performance, but after the song, the group tries to play as best as they can. Again, some of them are like having shyness or basically anxiety by playing to a crowd. In the second song is much more easy for them. They return to play top 20 blues songs of the era, but like not 12, 20 of them. It's just like play like Chain Breaker, Wonderful Tonight, Set Me Free. It's just that there is this feeling of like freedom and breaking chains type of thing coming out of the songs.
Gotcha. Before you make that roll at the end of the performance, you want to do a perception kenning real fast?
Oh, I will. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see how much kenning I have. I think I have 3. I do. I failed like a boss. I don't see shit.
I will tell you this. Regardless of how well you're going to roll, a good number of the crowd seem to be having a really good time. Maybe your music's really just that good. Maybe this is how it's going to. Maybe this is what it's going to do. They look like they're really into whatever it is. They are like clearly feeling it. They are clearly feeling it. So yeah, you're that good.
Probably gives some kind of like confidence boost to William. So like he drinks between the songs and he smokes as well. They don't give a break. They're new. They think that they should just like when you do something you want to rush it when you do it for the first time. Like when you want to do a speech in front of a crowd, you start to read fast. They're not playing the songs fast, but they don't give a lot of breaks. They're of course, there's a room for improvement. But after all these songs, William actually takes up the microphone and says, thank you all for coming here tonight. There's a lot of...
The crowd's going.
There's a lot of friendly faces. This is our first performance, and I would like to say thanks to everybody who came here. Today we would like to sing one more song. It's not like the ones that we sing, but it's one of our favorites as a group. He takes a deep breath. And there's just a bit of tune enters. Like it's, again, not fast. And immediately after the tune, he says, Starry, Starry Night. He starts to play the Vincent from Don McLean. It's one of my favorite songs. I actually posted it today. I can actually write the lyrics at the chat if you wish.
Totally fine.
It's a very nice song. Oops, that's not all of them. Okay, I will just post, I will do it from whatever, the text channels, general, and here. It's basically like probably where William loves this song, or like, or why he made it quite obvious actually. It's about like how people may get you or they just never will. Can you roll me like perception empathy maybe, like, because it's something Dizzy actually made him think.
Okay, let me take a look at. See, that was important. I should have opened up Dizzy's sheet as well. Wouldn't that have been important? There was a few things I knew off the top of my head, but perception, empathy, you said? Oh, actually have a decent pool of that. I forgot I had actually built this person to not be a complete sociopath. As opposed to the last character. Anyway, give me just a second. I freaking love this dice pool. Yep, and I have no specialties. Boom. 3 successes.
The song is basically, again, about like, at least to William. Pardon, the song is about Wango, or Wango, I think is how it's pronounced, and his life. But some of the lyrics, like "With the eyes that knows darkness in my soul," or "Now I understand what they try to say me, and how you suffered for your sanity, how you try to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they will listen now." It's just something that comes from inside of William that probably Dizzy caused. He can get that feeling that, you know, they will never know. They will never understand. Or maybe they will. You don't know. So the song ends, and I will roll for my fucking performance now. I have 7 successes.
Holy shit, man.
Fuck you! I have 7 successes on this.
Heck, even if you were doing a standard diff roll, that's freaking amazing. So.
Carol, I know you're listening to this, Carol. I know you're listening to this.
Oh man. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is I mean, I want to make sure I sell this. It's like Dizzy, for their part, at the very least, they're sitting back, and you can't see their eyes behind, of course, the sunglasses, but it does seem that they're actually like sitting back and actually listening and just letting the music roll over them. And you actually catch at one point just that quick flash of that smile of theirs, just that smile that is just so beautiful, so quick, so fleeting, and yet you feel like you'd cut your fingers on it just because of how sharp it is. But yet you can't help yourself. You're mesmerized. You want to touch. It's just one of those things, despite the danger of it. It's so beautiful. You want to grasp hold of it, but it's very fleeting. It's very brief. The crowd, of course, weren't expecting such, like, high levels of emotion. They probably weren't even sure what this was going on. The bartender probably is like, man, I'm glad I took this fucking chance. But there are genuine people but there are a few people who are genuinely like weeping, like openly weeping and just going, we love you. Oh my God, I feel like I'm in free fall. and just like there's all sorts of things just coming out of the crowd. But there's definitely more than a few people who seem very almost overwhelmed with emotion.
Thank you all. Thank you all. I will be here, and hopefully you will drink with us, says William. And he turns with his, guitar. He nearly has his microphone full. Like microphone stand, he nearly falls, he catches it. Oops. And then he realizes the microphone is still open. He closes the microphone.
Encore! Freebird!
But I don't know what's Freebird, by the way. Is it a song?
It is a song. It's something that people are usually pretty shitty about when it comes to that in bands in America. They'll just say like if they're saying things Freebird, it's almost like an in joke at a certain point. So
okay, he laughs. He feels very happy. This is like first performance. Looks good.
Mhm.
And then he's like, "We did it, guys. We did it." And like, but his issue friend is like, "Shut the fuck up, William. You fucked. You suck. What the fuck was that song? It is awful." And William's like, "No, it's good. I like look at this. People are crying. Yeah, fucking idiot. People are fucking crying right now." And William's like, "That's not what fucking we're supposed to do, you idiot." And William's like, "Listen to me. It's gonna be all
Carol
right."
Carol did write Freebird in the live notes.
Yes. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Now, drinks are on me. Thank you to. I know you didn't got paid today. We didn't, but I will pay you for this, for the drinks as well. Let's go. Let's drink. Whew. William is like, God, I fucking hate everything. In his mind, he does. In his mind, he goes to get another whiskey.
Mhm.
He used to drink only beer. Now he drinks whiskey.
Mm. He's
And
acquired a taste for it, I guess.
Yeah, he kind of taste for it, thanks to all the pain of the people. He kind of taste for whiskey, but he doesn't know how to approach. But he does, like he just walks in, like there's no, I'm just gonna walk around Dizzy and come in. No, he just walks towards Dizzy.
Dizzy is currently having there's like three other people, all mortals, right at their table, but they seem to be finishing up something. And Dizzy actually has one of the guys in like a full, like it's not like full it's not gentle. It's definitely like full on hand on the back of their head kind of thing, full on like tongue, everything going on as far as this is concerned. The guy, and there's a certain point where it breaks, and the guy seems to like swallow something. As there's like you don't know if it's like a gulp or if he legit swallowed something. As Dizzy whispers something to him and pats his cheek, and the other two people that are at that club are like glaring daggers, not at Dizzy, but at the guy. Like you get the sense that they are incredibly jealous right now of whatever it was that just happened here, but they all, and Dizzy's like, "All right, shoo. Oh, we're done here. Move along." And they all go off their way as they rub their lips for a moment.
William pulls a chair and sits down. You hope you enjoyed.
I always do appreciate it when they dedicate songs to me.
I'm glad you catch.
Of course I do. I can feel it in my veins whenever they do.
I try to find a song with diamond. It just shines bright like a diamond. It's just not a song that I think I can play. I will try in the future.
Oh. I'm sure if you really put your mind to it, you could find anything you really wanted.
Is that something you tell everybody?
That's something I tell everyone.
So is this how it starts? You tell the word of the lights, and then we accept the deal with the devil? He says Simone.
Oh my goodness, Councilman. Yeah. So you know how to get a girl's engine running, going right into the dirty talk there. If I knew you were so interested in being domed, I would have made sure I bent you over or right over one of those gravestones. Made you really feel it.
William smiles. Like there's just like a smile. There's like, huh, type of thing. It's just, you just say, huh. That's what he says.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, don't get me wrong, I had too many encounters, or I stopped believing where people just helps for no reason.
Hmm.
I start with not trusting. It become a habit, and I understand that it's not your problem, but it is hard to just acknowledge that there may be people who helps for no reason.
Oh, don't. Oh, well, that's your first mistake. Don't trust anyone, especially not me. I'm quite fickle, if you ask around.
I see.
So, was there a reason you were asking for my name around town? I'd heard the rumors.
I asked for your number, and then these people gave it to me. Then you know, there was a guy named Jack that says like, I don't know who it is, man. Just leave me alone. And then I tried found a second number, and then it was a call girl, who was saying that it's Bosch, the fridge company.
Hmm.
The third number, I don't remember what it was. Then I
Oh.
basically stated that I wanted to invite you to this, and I left the word out. You're new talk in the town, so I knew it would come to you.
Oh, Jackie. As the thought of like you mentioned the call girl from the one store, she's like, oh, Jackie, yeah. Hmm. And there's just there's almost this like quiet smirk, as though remembering something that was like relatively pleasant before. Like, yeah, yeah, I'm a little hard to get a hold of. People just, I don't know, they're just obsessed with me. Are you obsessed with me, Councilman?
I'm obsessed with many things.
Hmm. Yeah, I think you're I think you're quite obsessed with me. After all, you wouldn't have gone through so much effort after the first 3 phone calls to numbers that went nowhere. Even willing to go up to people on the street and ask around for me.
I'm not obsessed. When I put my mind into it, I usually just try to achieve something. I'm a go-getter, at least that's what people says, or they used to say.
So now that I'm here, is it everything you ever wanted? Is it exactly what you expected it to be?
I was curious about why you were so harsh towards the council. With your comments.
Oh, there's like a ow, as though suddenly the conversation just got far less interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And Dizzy like reaches over for one of the bottles, which is definitely tequila, and pours a shot glass. It's like, that's why you wanted to talk to me about things.
I do business and pleasure together.
You
You know it well.
Well, I'm quite well. Mixing business with pleasure is definitely one of the finer things in life, but I can tell you right now that I just wanted to come out here, ply my trade a little bit, listen to some good music, which you have provided me with, but really, my opinions on the council, that's what you wanted to talk about? There's so many far more interesting things you could be talking about. I'm not. She takes a full-on shot of the tequila before setting it down.
I mean, you tell me. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, what do I want to talk about? How about that tasty little number right over there? As she points to your issue bandmate.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been working with them?
He looks at the issue, and then he says, the Sadie, pardon, Akin is someone who recently arrived to the city. She knows how to play a drum. She came running away from somewhere, she says.
Hmm. Yeah, I know her very well. As the glasses go down for a moment, staring in her direction, and you see once again those golden irises that just so bright gold, it's almost like molten gold. And whatever it is that William is wanting, his most deep-seated desires, the most wondrous and the most gross and the most fleeting and the most deep-rooted, they're all in there in those eyes for just a brief moment as they're looking over at the issue. Did you say it was Kim? Was her name?
Ikin.
Kim. Yeah, and just for a brief moment as she glances over, there's a wink before the glasses slide back up. Lots of runaways with in our little what's it called? Our people? Yeah, I guess our people. Lots of runaways in our people. Lots of broken homes along the way. It's the lucky ones that actually get to have parents that are understanding or encourage them. Luckier if they're actually Cathane. Hard to find those.
It's sad that we're not able to see that so many would arrive. I didn't expect it, my speeches to be heard from other places than here.
Well, Councilman.
Just call me William.
I think we're in the business part of things, Councilman, so it's just, I'm surprised you didn't think that this would blow up as big as it is. No one's done this. Everything is so far has been based on very keen traditions, even back, as I'm told, before my time, back with the moon landing, when the gates opened wide and brought forth and the war happened. Everyone still fell back into line with things. Even before the return of the Shining Host, there was still very much this idea of, lords, ladies, subjects, that sort of thing. It's just how it's always been, William. So, and at least from my understanding, I mean, there are always small eclectic groups that do dare to deviate from the norm, but let's be honest, no one gives a fucking shit about Staten Island. And I mean, if they did, you think all 200 of them would be coming here to Brooklyn, where promises of freedom, where a big part of not just the Kingdom of Apples, but of Concordia itself has declared itself a democracy of freedom, where the people have a voice? You're surprised that you would have gotten such attention.
William takes a deep breath. My dad calls me. My apologies. He didn't call me for 2 days. I'll be right back.
Okay, go for it.
My apologies.
Oh, no worries. We'll take five here.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Sorry, I had to mute my
Okay.
mic for a second. So,
No problem.
Yeah.
So William smiled when, like, as he said that no one gives a shit about Staten Island and all the other things. Well, do you know the story? Do you know how this all started?
oh, I've heard the rumors, but if you're offering me the story from a direct source, one in the front lines, I'd be certainly interested.
Should we go to? Should we have a walk? The Brighton Beach is actually very good. It has. We can get the bottles and the drinks. No one would give a shit.
Oh. she gives a chuckle and she goes, "Oh, I'm going to guarantee you that there were some people who would have an issue. Luckily, I prepare for these occasions." As they, out of one of their jacket pockets, they pull out like rolls of like folded up like several different times over things of brown paper bags.
Mm-hmm.
And start stuffing bottles, like the open bottles, into them. And she hands like two of them to you before taking another before taking the tequila and putting it in another one of those paper bags. It's like, now it's no problem. as she slides out and starts heading for the door.
She's like trying to steal.
Well, yeah, she's trying to steal them.
Well, William is like wants to work here in the future, so he's like, just let me handle it. He's like he goes near the guy, pays, and he says, "I will be back in like a couple of minutes." Just gonna walk outside, and he says like, "Oh fuck, like, it was a good man. It was really good. Just you did it very well. Just how about you play next week?" And he's like, "No,
there are still people who are crying. There's one person who's sitting at the bar and is just like looking at his hands. It's like, I can still feel the vibrations.
I need to read about manga. This song was so good." William comes after Dizzy.
Yeah. The other reason of the brown paper bags thing is, just so you are aware, America does not allow you to carry open alcoholic beverages around. But apparently the loophole is, as long as it's a paper bag and you can't recognize it's alcohol, you're in the clear. So
okay.
So that's really what Dizzy was more doing. But yes, she was trying to steal the bottles.
William comes near Dizzy, and he says, "I will try to keep it less boring than, to make sure you are not going to yawn. You already do."
She is like, "Start walking, councilman, and start telling me a story. It's not like I haven't heard a lot of those in my life." She gives a look upwards for a moment, and she gives the bird towards the sky for a brief moment, before going back. Doesn't seem that she's upset with you necessarily, but I don't know. There's some association there.
There was a Baron of House O'Leal here. I arrived to the city after I actually left Renters.
I heard rumor like he was obsessed with flamingos, like lawn flamingos.
Yeah, he was. It was true. I was a slave. It's true that there are rumors, and I said it many times. It's simply, I was born. I remember my father, but then she killed him, and they took me, raised me, and then the Ranters were against slavery of the changelings, so they killed she set me free. After I had some disagreements with the Ranters, I left. I came to Brooklyn, trying to help as best as I can. I didn't knew outside life that much, so there were progression of me creating a life for myself, which was starting to cross with the nobility. Alleles, the counts, the Count's son. My best friend and a friend that I really liked was forced to marry one of the sheep, a commoner who we were trying to find ways and peaceful ways, and no one was basically allowing us to get out of this situation. Signatures were gathered, speeches were made, nothing was moving. So, in the end, when we when our friend died, it was like no more. We didn't want people to die. We lost a lot of people. There were many people dying, like inconsistent judgments. The Count saying, "Okay, there's a lot of people who want this man to be judged and killed. There's a lot of people who does want this man to be, set free. So I'm gonna make nobody happy because I can't make everyone happy." Such a dumbass thing, but okay. In the end, we basically said, "Fuck this, fuck Isidore, fuck the Baron. We're gonna rule ourselves." And I just didn't knew this was gonna explode, but it did. Isidore was like, "Shut the fuck up, boy," and then I challenged him, and he told me, "Have one of your friends fight for you. The councilwoman that you criticize so much fought for me. The mini one, Misha. She beat a troll with one hit, and basically, I wrought the system. I didn't want to be the governor, like you said. You heard that story, and I didn't want to be even be councilwoman because I wanted to go around places and continue my revolution. I wanted to, set other places, but it didn't go so fast like I predicted. And the problems at home started gathering due to nightmares. So I become a councilman. That is the whole story behind me. Small version, but that is the whole story behind me. And the idea of democratic state.
You get the feeling as it's like, despite the fact that Dizzy might have only been half listening to really what you were saying, it's very odd that this is an issue that doesn't seem to be very interested in listening to a story. But there's like, I don't know, there's always a weird vibe when it comes to Dizzy at this point, very mercurial, very fleeting. Like if something catches their interest, they latch on, and then and then like almost like a cat where suddenly there's hyperfixation, and then suddenly, oh, never mind, and just suddenly nothing matters anymore. But Dizzy does take a swig of. You're pretty sure it was the same tequila that's in their brown paper bag. So they go, "Oh, that was an interesting story. Yes, could have simply been boiled down to, I wanted to bring people's freedom. People didn't want me to bring people's freedom. My friend didn't want to marry someone. They wanted to but other people wanted them to be married. Suddenly, she's dead, and suddenly, because this was a poem I cared about more than just if it had been just anyone else in the general populace, suddenly that brought the fires of revolution."
No. I would still be mad if it was anyone else. That forced marriage actually made me close with that person. Like, we were just talking and we were basically fighting all the time. And then when she was forced to marry, we became close friends because we wanted to help each other. It's the thing is, like, I had the idea of what I was doing.
Another question.
Okay.
When it came to you trying to stop that forced marriage, Did you have to do anything? Did you formally request the right of rescue for that, or was that just something you decided spur of the moment? I'm just curious.
The
Asking for
forced marriage was basically uh, there were a contract, and there was a contract set between a noble and a noble the guy and the noble squire, and then the squire needed to be informed about everything that goes to the commoner. The contract was actually broken, but they still forced this thing.
you didn't
You
answer my
understand?
question.
No, we didn't. We didn't ask the right of rescue because no matter like actually asking, writing signatures, and no, I'm quite sure I actually mentioned it one of our like it was mentioned at one of our write ups
Mm.
that this was against the sheet as well.
So I'm to understand then that before this democracy came around, that the right of rescue, generally as the Ashid is concerned, is supposed to be something that you're supposed to it's expected of every citizen to do. But now that we've established here, as we've had our conversation, we're supposed to request formally that the right of rescue be
No,
done.
no.
That's not what you said.
I said that it would be better if you also work with us.
Hmm.
Oh, see, there's one thing I want to say. In Elowad, we thought like right of rescue was something that was declared. That's why how Paul and Alistair ran. I don't know how other STs are running it.
Yeah. That could be fair, but then again, Dizzy's not from here, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
You were telling me that the right of rescue, whether you were fulfilling the right of rescue. But the issue is that when we were here in the past, the right of rescue was something being called by nobility. When a right of rescue was called, it was like a formal thing. I told you, like, work with us is right of rescue, is basically, I want to help people. And if someone is losing their changing, it is my duty to save them, along with something I want to do. So it will be better, in my opinion, that if you just tell me if someone is actually needing aid. And if I can help, I would.
The funny thing about that is that I did explain to you what it was that the people were having concerns about and what they were needing. And you nearly bit my head off for it. So I don't know how this partnership's actually going to work, Councilman, but
the people that you say that they want their freedom, but they also come to us and ask aid. And when we tell them go work, they refuse. Because we asked people to basically work with us. Now, you're laughing, but here's the thing. If this needs to work, everyone needs to work in a way where we can complete this, or we're all going to die. You know what happened to those commoners who went to the Shi, ask some fair. They went with expectations of trying to find, hospitality. I receive death threats nearly every day for what I did here. Do you think that they're not gonna? If we do not actually work together, when I say work together, it's not like let's hold hands. I know there will always be problems because now we can actually speak. You have a constitutional right to talk it. In America, that's just how the shit goes. But what I'm saying is like, if we look weak, they will just invade here. The first thing I had to do is to make here look like if you come here, we're gonna make you bleed. I had to make that to make this place work at the first place. And then the nightmare started, and this whole insane glamour crisis started. Like the people that you criticize, which you have in your right to do so, but they're trying their best. And if this isn't enough, they will work harder. We are making plans, but I think some of your criticism were unfair and not constructive.
Wow. You keep saying that it's my criticisms. I'm just telling you what the criticisms of the people are. And once again, it seems you're not listening to what I'm actually saying, Councilman.
What are you actually saying then?
I don't know. Figure it out.
William is like, gives her like a look of like, really?
Mm. All right. Let me spell it out to you. I really, absolutely don't care what you guys do. You can be as fair or as unfair. You can berate these people as all you want. You can offer them the helping hands, everything like that. I honestly don't care. I know what their concerns are, and to be fair, and you might find it shocking, I honestly don't care what it is that they're clamoring or complaining about. And you might actually think, oh, this is the perfect key. I got her. Now I can tear down on whatever she's worked on. They know this. They already know. Oh, I'm providing a service because it is something that they need and they want. But all I'm doing is something that's going to be a short-term solution. Something so that maybe you all can get in gear and actually figure out what these people want. Or maybe figure out what it is that each of you actually want.
The councils, what they want is quite simple. We had talks about what we want for time and time again. A lot of people sees us as like, we are disillusioned or not together, but like, come on, three of us in a fucking motley. Do you think that we are not talking?
And of course, I'm certain you're talking. Yeah, but here's the thing. But the thing is, of course, Councilman, is the fact that you say people see you as disillusioned. That's the case with politicians everywhere. They're disillusioned. They're detached. They're not meeting the needs of the people. They aren't able to connect with us because they're seeing things from this top-down view. They're not in the streets with us. They're not suffering with us.
I never understood how I actually can't suffer with the streets. That's where I come from, and that's where I am now. I don't get it. I understand it. Like, I got your point. They will not see it that way, and that's fine. But you convinced me that it's not fine. That it's fine to be seen this way. But here's the thing. I don't understand why you help if you don't care.
Oh, it's because I want to.
You want to care or you want to help?
Either, neither, both. Could be anything. Depends how I'm feeling.
Being an enigma is something you enjoy, it seems.
One could say it's the essence of my very being sometimes.
I see. Well, why you were disappointed? Now we come to the, personal things, which means that you can call me William. Or Mr. Black. Or Daddy. That's up to you.
Ooh. Once again, going with that dirty talk there. Why was I disappointed? been any number of things. I'm pretty certain I'm pretty certain I remember. Not quite as I expected. I was expecting. Oh yes, I remember exactly. It was because the straightforward William Black, the man of the people, snuck into my fucking establishment and performed a smash and grab. Maybe that's the reason I'm disappointed.
I'm not doing a smash and grab. Hell no. I'm not Leon. That's what Leon does. He punches his own people.
Oh no.
Listen.
I think you'd be surprised because from what I hear, he kind of wants a lot of the same thing that you do. And he actually walks down on the street and actually talks to the people.
That's what I do as well. People doesn't talk back to me. And that's what Amber does as well. That's what Hole does as well. What Leon does, and what Leon has the issue is that he is a bitch of the houses. He can say he's not, and he can act like he's a lion, but he's not. The issue is, I love that how the word issue and issue, that your kif is just keep coming up. But the problem is that Leon will have the terrible problem of facing us one day. It's destined to cross each other.
There's a smile on there. There's a smirk. No, not the smile that doesn't come out as they go there. It's like, so you're already planning to bite the hand that feeds you.
No. I realize that Leon currently is someone who helps us. But it's not because he helps us that he loves democracy or he agrees with us. Leon is serving to his own house because he wants to keep this contained. And this is the funny thing, that they actually give this job to a lion puka of House Fiona to keep this contained. He's not going to be fucking equal with his countly friends who are she. They will always look down upon him. They give his job because, again, he's a bitch. And I'm not saying this because I don't like the guy. I don't like the guy. I'm basically making a statement here that he is serving to Queen Mab, who is, I don't know how fucking huge she is, like, how old she is, but someone who was part of this war when they betrayed and killed people.
Well, if you ask my brother how old she is, just a little younger than him.
So, you see, it's not what Leon presents, it's what Leon is the issue. And if you're successful, he's actually going to look bad. And he says he will look good, but he will actually look bad.
How is he going to look bad if you succeed with your democracy? I'm just curious.
What happens when a place is successful? You're someone who visits bars a lot. So what's going to happen when the bars are quite successful? When you love a place, what do you do?
When you love a place, when you truly love a place so much, you just feel it in your bones. The earth under your feet just pulses with you. You feel like you've belonged there, like it's the home you never had before. You fall in love with the people, the culture. And yes, even the flaws are there. The flaws are there and are glaring, but you've got rose-colored glasses at first, You love it so much, you just don't see the red flags, because with those rose-colored glasses, all the flags just look like flags. And then you settle in. You find a community, you find it there, and you feel like you belong, because nothing more than anything, you want to belong there. You want to belong there. You want your blood in the soil. You feel the pride. You feel the warmth. You feel everything. When you truly love a place, you'll die for it.
William smiles and says, when this place is going to be successful, there will be questions of, we really don't need nobles anymore because look at them. 5 of them are doing something different and it works. Why not us? If you're that successful, then Manhattan, who's having a really shitty fucking leader, is going to ask the same question. What if we can't do this, what they do? The envy will set in. Manhattan will, probably will be the first one. And I'm not saying, I'm not looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I want this shit to be better. The nobility was how many thousands of years ago? There were no cell phones. There were no fucking, things that we were able to communicate with each other that fast. So you said that there were no democratic places before. How the fuck we know? How the hell we don't know they buried it like they try to bury many things before? They try to bury, trans people, gay people in the lines of history. They try to say that never existed. You're the weird one. But no, they existed. We know it. We have slowly gathering historical things, historical facts about they existed in the past. They had arts about them. What if we know that this wasn't a deal? How do we think that this is the first try? Because I think whenever someone tried to do this, they just said, everything's working. He's just a guy who wants something different. I think that this was the case. People were not happy. How can you be happy when you're shit on all the time? So if this place goes successful, others will see that this can be successful. Manhattan will go switch. Oh shit, 3 baronies now. Bronx has issues with fucking black trods. People are not happy there. Only proper, going place is Queens with Mariposa, and this is like the backyard of Kingdom of Apples, like New York. The Tar&R is like 2 hours away. So they say it will look good for Leon, but it won't. They will just simply tell him, you couldn't keep them in line. The second people start talking in Manhattan, they will tell him, shut that shit down.
There's a moment where Dizzy takes off their glasses, folds them up, and you get that full unobstructed view of their eyes as they look at you, as you see those goals, that dream, that want to see the idea of democracy, of freedom spreading across all of Concordia, reflected in them as they look at you. Do you know why all those previous attempts failed with democracy? It's because as much as they wanted that freedom, as much as they found other people to want that freedom, the thing is the people in power want to keep that power just as bad, if not more so, than anything. So, let's say your little plan starts to go. Let's say it starts to spread. Let's say Manhattan is the first to fall. The domino effects start happening, and they do come down with, and you'd say this may put egg on Legion's face. Do you think they're just going to settle with the fact that 3 baronies in Concordia's backyard have given over to democracy? I told you that if my brother is to be believed, and there's like a real serious eye roll with that, Mab is just a little younger than him. It's not going to be, they're not going to tell, if Leon fails here, they're not going to tell Lejean to get this mess fixed. They're going to execute him along with the rest of you.
That's why Leon needs to just say fuck you to the she as much as I do. He says with a smile. He's I will tell you a secret that I even don't tell to my Motley mates. You ready? I envy Leon sometimes. I envy what he can do, how he can act, and I'm sad that he's not sitting near me and in front of me. He can do a much better job with this shit that I do right now. He can do much better. He knows. He has been in this politics for years now. He can do a much better job. But he chose to serve House Fiona. He's not serving people. I understand that like this shit gets old, like I serve people claim, but he's not serving. He's serving, like he's not serving to his job. He's serving House Fiona and its interests. And House Fiona's interests aren't the interests of people. It's House Fiona's interests. That's why when I made the oaths, I put the words in the best interest of those who we take responsibility of.
And how do you know their best interests, Councilman?
Well, you say you don't talk to them. I say you don't talk to me. So I try to ask and send people to learn those interests. And this is the issue. This is the flaw that I think is in my creation of democracy. So I wanted to set a governor that is helped by 5 councilmen for 200 people. They were going to be guards. They were going to be, public officials that who wants to help. This needed a initiative out of people more than anything, because when Brooklyn was basically being sieged by Isidore with his foolishness, everyone was unhappy and everyone was willing to act. They did act. There were people who acted, but we sadly lost them. Some of them. Some died, some fade away. But basically the flaw I'm having right now is that the people are not coming to their councilmen. And today I learned a hard truth that I'm having a hard time facing and utterly disappointed. I asked a couple of my friends to check the word out on why I was chosen. If people are not talking to me, why they chose me. Do you know the answer?
Oh, I'm pretty certain I do, but I want to hear you say it.
It's because they think that I am scary enough to discourage who would start problems like Sebastian. It's such a disappointment to me.
And you're surprised by this assessment?
I am extremely surprised. I was disappointed. I even considered canceling the event.
Oh, Councilman. I think you're trying to lead a revolution while sitting in office. And yes, you had to do a revolution in order to get it here, but the people aren't looking to have another revolution on their hands. Everything here, despite all the promise and everything like that, is very topsy-turvy right now. We're in a, what's the word for it? The Wild West, as it were, when it comes to this. As I've said, this has never been done before. Forget the Republic of Staten Island. No one gives a shit about that. But no one has really ever done this before in such a major way, and all eyes are on Brooklyn. all eyes are on Brooklyn. They're wanting to see if this succeeds or fails. And I'm sure you're very well aware with it. Death threats, the like, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, Councilman, is that they don't want a revolution right now. They want security.
Exactly.
And I think with you barging into places unannounced and forcibly grabbing civilians might be part of the reason why there's a reason people are a little afraid of you.
Do you know why I grabbed you? You're not gonna like the reason. Don't look at me like that. It's because I thought you were a Severtal with those eyes. So
Oh, I guarantee you, no sort of all has my eyes.
no, the issue is that the people didn't talk to me when I came. When I tried to talk with people who were coming to your group sessions.
Of course,
They
because
were-
they thought you were going to break it up because it wasn't governmentally sanctioned that
That's
they were
dumb.
getting glamored.
That's dumb. No one like this is that's like so fucking, how do I say, dumb that like I can't even comprehend how dumb it is. It's like we never told people not to do these things. They're free to do whatever the hell they want as long as they don't do, like they don't kill each other or I don't know, like sacrifice fucking Canaan in those meetings. They can do whatever the hell they want. Nobody told them not to do it. We try to help them as best as we can. And you're saying like, oh, like just because I did what they were afraid of, I did what they I don't know how to say this, but like their biggest fears of barging in, it was because it was caused by them, by not telling us that we thought there was a problem. And also like we are being quite open with people. Wait a second. Do you know that like there are other baronies who are trying to cause problems here?
So we're free to do whatever we want except have privacy. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not about that. You can
That's
have your
exactly what it
privacy.
sounds like you're saying,
No,
Councilman.
no, you can have your privacy. We're not telling you not to have your privacy. Like, it's kind of weird that like we are requested so many helps that we try to keep this dream alive when so many people are trying to attack. There are many individuals who like there are 400 individuals here, like 200 new individuals here. Do you think like some of them are not sent here? Do you really believe that 200 of them are just like they just came because they were hopeful? We're not that. I am at least not that hopeful. I wish it was the case that 200 of them just arrived because they were thinking the same. I can't take that risk for the exact same reason you said to me that what people need, the security. And I know that the age-old difference or the fight between order and freedom, security and freedom, I know that. I live that. There are going to be mistakes like this, but I hope that these mistakes are not going to cause problems among the people I try to help. I am also like refraining from telling my people. Nobody is mine. Brooklyn is his own place, but it needs to work together with people who are capable like you. Because heads will roll along with yours.
It's bold of you to assume that my head's going to roll.
No, do you really think they're just going to keep everyone okay here? Like, okay, they come here and like they're just going to accept that the people existed here? They probably want to delete that this place ever existed. That's what she does. They rule with fear, and when they can't rule with fear, they try to turn you towards their side. That's how majority of the commoner nobles have arrived. They couldn't rule with fear anymore. They fucked up. They realized it. So they just said, okay, let's make a compromise. Let's allow commoners to be nobles in our houses and treat them like garbage. There's only one house whose High Lord is a commoner. And it's the house no one gives a shit about. Scatech.
So, Councilman, if we're allowed our privacy, why were you spying?
Literally, because I was thinking there was a danger. I'm being completely honest with you. I thought that there was some shit going on, that like Severtals would jump at us, or I don't know, Sebastian would try something weird. He literally just says, like, he shrugs and says, I'm being honest with you.
Hmm.
I tried to talk to people. They just didn't talk when I was near them. So,
like I said, so you mentioned a lot about the fact that, you know, the Shi are putting these putting the screws to their civilians, the houses, regardless of if they're common or nobles, the screws to these houses, this causing this mistrust in government. You think that people haven't been burned by that feeling? So that despite the fact that the promises of freedom and stuff, despite this Wild West, that they might not be afraid of the fact that you and the council might not be exactly the same as everyone else. In with the old chiefs, same. In with the new chief, same as the old chief. It's just painted differently.
Yeah, they have the choice to root us over, though, in 4 years. They have the choice to demand and ask us to basically, like, how many changes are here? 400 now. If 400 of you, or majority of you, state that they want a new election, we have to provide it to them. This system is written in a way where we can refuse what majority wants. Like, I made sure there are safeguards. We are not here for eternity like some other assholes. Even a governor can change. You requested, you give me signatures of 125 changelings that you want governor changed and you want new election. I'm going to give that, it's my job to give that to the council immediately. And we will have to make a vote between the council. This is nothing. Like, the change that you want is happening. It's slow, but it's happening. There are ways to do it. It's just not the way that, most people want, which is right now. And you know how childish that is.
It may be childish, but that doesn't stop it from being a want or need, especially when people are hungry, especially when they're starving for glamour. Exactly. And their souls are fraying apart at every single day.
I have been trying to come up with solutions. The people, like, how can you tell someone, like, how can you reasonably help someone where, okay, here's a bread, it's government, your government gives you a bread, here, take it, and you say, like, no, I don't want your bread because you're government and you're not different, so I'm gonna not accept your bread and keep bitching about how you're not helping me. Because that's exactly what happens when Amber gives them glamour.
Welcome to politics, baby.
Yeah, they can bitch all they want. That's fine as well. But don't come to me and say you're not doing your job, Dizzy. Like, would you be happy when I'm burned out and I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm out, I resign? Are you going to be happy?
That's a thought. I kind of want to see that. Nah, not right now, though.
Yeah. So, like, I didn't even want to be this because I was more like you. I enjoyed my freedom. I didn't want to be locked in Brooklyn. I didn't want to be this, but I had to. For the same people who's now shitting on me. Mm-hmm. And you convinced me again to continue. That's fine.
Oh, I didn't have to convince you of anything. You made the choice yourself.
I made a choice myself, but I was having a hard time. I was even fucking, shaking and even unable to talk when we first met.
I thought it was just because I had you tongue-tied.
No. It was because
Mhm.
I was sad for 1 month of constantly hearing people bitch and moan, like they do, complain about how I am unable to help them. And, you know, after all this time, I want to make some changes and it's not coming. It's also have effects on me. But I will not stop. I will continue. But it doesn't make my burnout less of a burnout.
Hmm. You envy where I'm at.
It's not a place I can be anymore. Most
You
people
sure?
have what they don't have.
You sure you can't?
Yeah, no, I can't.
Hmm.
What's going to happen when I leave?
Who knows? They'll elect another councilman. You said it yourself. You got the systems in place. You
They
got your
asked me-
motley already in there.
They asked me to step forward. I did. William takes a deep breath and says,
And in 4 years, you're going to be outvoted. Unless they reelect you.
exactly.
So, eventually, you're going to not be there.
Eventually. And then maybe, I will continue being like you. But until then, I can't be like you.
It's a shame. Because I think you really do want to be like me. Somewhere deep down in that heart of yours, you do. Just like you envy Lejean on the fact that you want to be just like him. You want what he has.
I don't
You
want his bitch ass house, Fiona.
No. That's not what you
Oh.
want. What you want is the way that people look at him. You want the way that you see it in your mind's eye. You want the respect. You want the fact that that he can walk in there and he can give a smile, and despite the fact that, yes, somewhere deep down inside them, they hate the fact that he might be a traitor to the commoners, somehow he just makes you feel like you matter.
Your point being?
Listen to those feelings, William. Follow them. See where they take you. For me, though, this was a lovely night. Surprisingly great music.
Surprised to have an angry troll sing that well?
No. I was just expecting that I would have had to push more for the night to be a good evening.
Thank you. You activated an art. Did you?
Couldn't say. I think the real magic was the music of the night.
I thank you for your kind words. You're always welcome.
I'm always there even when I'm not. With that, I'll wish you a good night, Councilman. Until the next time, maybe I'll see you at the next meeting.
Have a good day.
And with a salute of the brown bottled tequila, they start to stumble off along the beach.
Okay, I need to end the scene, so see you guys later!